Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for the final episode of Paradise City. This is it. This is for all the marbles. Ding.
Every single marble.
Every single one in the city. That being said, if you guys like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is by clicking on the Patreon link down below. Next best thing is by joining us in our Discord and being a part of the community and a part of the conversation. And, as always, on the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I get to do what the hell I want to these players. And two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful faces you see here before you. Special note, yes, we have a very statuesque kitty here, but she is here. Don't you fret. We can't have a finale without Molly.
No.
With that, previously on Paradise City. With Judd on the mend, Molly and Artemis head to the Miskatonic Library to speak with Dr. George Angel about the events of the warehouse, but much to their dismay, it appears as though he was missing and his office had been ransacked. Returning to the Kingsman, this information was shared with the now-recovered Judd, while Artemis had a private discussion with Mr. Gold, who revealed that the boy she was chasing was the illegitimate child of Alderman Hugh Flynn. With the puzzle pieces finally falling into place, Artemis sent Judd and Molly to speak with Samuel Valtierra, while she headed to the Yamashiro building to talk to Mr. Hagen. Artemis, we cut in on you, watching as the screen goes blue and then black on the desktop of one Mr. Thomas Hagen. He seems confused, befuddled, and like he's slowly forgetting the questions you're asking him. He seems to be able to piece together small bits of information about this staff you were questioning about a boy maybe 3 months ago, maybe a month ago. He's not exactly sure of the time frame. It seems as though the memories are falling out of his head as quickly as the words fall out of his mouth. What are you doing?
God damn it, I knew you were gonna come to me first.
Yeah.
Describe to me the office while I make this terrible decision that I'm probably about to
Sure.
make.
Yeah, this looks like a very well-to-do office, right? This is like a big, like almost like a stately, like mahogany desk, lion's paw kind of etched into it. You can see that he has like a decorative, like looks like solid gold pen. His name is on like a marble placard on the front of his desk. There is like matching mahogany and leather embroidered chairs that kind of sit with that like half moon wrap around in front of him. He obviously has a massive leather captain's chair kind of pulled up to his desk. The computer, probably one of the cheapest looking things in the room, because it just looks like, you know, like a 22-inch monitor. It's nothing special to look at. This seems like your run-of-the-mill corporate purchase here. On the desk sits an array of like planners and folders and like calendar pieces. There's a ficus in the corner. And on the right-hand wall, there is an elevator door that you know leads to somewhere above.
Art is gonna start to get angry, very, very angry, and slam her fist on the desk, stand up, and just start pacing.
As soon as you like slam you see him like sit back in his chair. He doesn't seem to be one for violence.
I want to roll a change the game.
Oh, a change the game, you say? What are you trying to do? What changes are you trying to effect here?
Rolls within the first 10 minutes of the game is not how we play.
That's true.
This was happening one way or another. Artemis is gonna go over to the window towards the ficus, start mindlessly playing with it.
Uh-huh.
And I want her to just zone out and try to focus on what Prometheus told her. Meanwhile, her other hand might be touching her gun, not with intention to shoot it, to use it,
Uh-huh.
but trying to draw in on her abilities to see if she can stir something in the sky, because it's the only thing she can think of. It's been racking her brain. She's been trying to ignore it, but it's the only thing she can think of at this moment.
Okay. And what are you trying to do? Like, what is the verb here that you're trying to do?
It's a little bit of intimidation, but it's mostly trying to bring forth anything that would help her remember, him remember anything. I'm gonna tag aspects of nature.
Well, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't know if change the game is what we'll have to roll here. I'm trying.
What are you
to
thinking?
Think. So you're trying to pull on the mist.
Yes.
And see if you can, like, peel back the veil, as it were, so he can remember things that he can't remember for whatever reason.
Or art as well, because she's convinced there's something she knows that she can't bring forward either.
Hey,
Yeah.
I have a help point.
I think you have to be in the scene to use a help point.
Yeah.
Because you have to be there to help.
As tempting as it is, I wanted Artemis to fuck this up all on her own.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think
maybe take a risk, face danger.
I think it might be a stop holding back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think this is a stop holding back. I think this is no return. It's not. It's more important than just a significant, but it's not an ultimate. This isn't something that can just like destroy you. But going 1v1 the mist is not the best choice by anyone.
Recommended.
Yeah. So I think so I will tell you what you what sacrifice this will take from you. Okay. On a 7 to 9, replace one whole theme. Okay,
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. What will this take from you?
The law. More than likely.
Well, no, it's a narrative sacrifice. Whatever you replace is up to you.
Yeah.
Something sticks in your mind about something that Judd, in his weird recent behaviors, said to you. Whatever that is what's digging into the, like, gnawing at the back of your head, that's making you focus in the way that you are. And you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that what you're trying to force is a very razor-thin line. And either you're going to get it and get the information you want, or you're going to tip it just too far, and you're going to change Hagen forever.
Yeah.
So the sacrifice is you know that whatever happens to Hagen from here on out is as a result of you doing what you're about to do.
Fair.
Okay. In that case, then I believe on the top left of your character sheet you should see a cinematic moves button. Click on that, and then click on stop holding back.
Oh god. Where is that button?
On the top left of your character sheet where it says core moves, and then it says cinematic moves right next to it. Click on cinematic moves. It should change the name of those.
Gotcha.
And the one should be stop holding back, and we'll see what happens here. And don't forget to reset your powers, because you don't have any.
Don't use anything on this?
You don't use any. It's actually just plus logos. So it'll be a +2 because you have 2 logos.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This character sheet's a little too smart for its own good sometimes.
It's really good, though.
It is.
The miss.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
Off to a great start.
Oh, no.
It's fine. It's what I expected.
On all of the things you can miss on,
This would be, yeah.
this is the worst one. So, mechanically, on a 6 or less, you still pay the price as you would for a 7th or 9. But you also lose control over your powers or fail to use them as planned. The MC me, will decide how and what those consequences are. Oof. Interesting. Okay. So we see Artemis playing with the ficus in the corner, hand resting on the hip holster of this shiny gun that she keeps at her side, thinking about what Judd said and wondering how she can turn the tide into her favor. And as she continues to focus on the words of Judd, the camera transitions to a black town car that pulls up outside of the Gide funeral home, containing both Judd and Molly. As they look at the funeral home, see Valtierra along the sign of the sign, and a bright purple lowrider in the driveway. Molly, Judd, what are you two doing?
Who's driving, first off?
I believe you called the town car.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we could flip for it if you want to be driving.
No, I mean
No.
you called a delivery car.
I was just curious because Molly's been like insisting that Judd is like drunk or strung out or something. So I assumed she would insist that she drive.
I believe that the vehicle you had was Artemis's SUV, and she took the SUV, I think, to the Yamashiro. So you guys had to pull up in a black car.
We're just Ubering around everywhere.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You have a company account. It's fine.
So I guess like maybe there's like some like awkward pause or like awkward silence as they're like first like in the car, like in this Uber. Yeah. And then Prometheus will look over towards Molly with a bit of a smirk. But I think he definitely doesn't look as sure of himself when he's like talking with just Molly as he does when he's talking with Artemis. And he will say, she did say she wanted me to get this information out there. What do you think? Should I do that or?
Well, I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, it's what we need to do.
Look, this is your guys' show. I'm just along for the ride, really.
Look, okay, I don't know what's going on with you, Judd, but you or whoever, whatever, you're part of this too. Okay, you're not just along for a ride.
That's a fair point. So, how about this then? I don't want to make a unilateral decision, but since we've all agreed, does anyone have... he pulls out his phone, and I want to try to... I'm not honestly sure what kind of role I want to make here.
Sure.
Probably a change the game. Mm-hmm. But maybe some kind of weird version of hit with all you've got, if we think about it in like a more abstract version. Mm-hmm. Basically, what Judd wants to do is publish this by just like hacking it out onto a bunch of people's phones. Oh. So Prometheus, like instead of like trying to like send it to reporters, it would just like pop up on all these reporters' screens, and like it would just be out there.
So what I think I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you roll a convince with a -2 for good reputation. So he has a good reputation, so it's going to be hard to besmirch him. So what can you add?
So
to a convince.
So I think like the way this works is basically just like it's like a pop-up that people that just like appears on people's computers, and it's probably specifically supposed to be targeting like people who could get it out to wider audiences, etc. And it's like it's very clickbaity, right? It's basically like it's definitely just like full on clickbait article, but then it's like actually like a bunch of real legit like all of the stuff that Art and Judd and Molly have put together. Or I guess mostly we just got it from Mr. Gold, really. But I'm still sure it's extensive. Yeah. So I want to use the Maconian trick.
Yep.
I want to use Take the Bait.
Yep.
I would like to use Humanity's Champion.
I feel like, I mean, not that it matters, but I feel like knows where the bodies are buried is probably a better
Oh,
one
yeah,
even
that's
to
more
use.
appropriate for sure.
Molly, do you have any help points for Judd that you would like to throw in here?
Do I?
It is the
I
finale.
do,
after
yeah.
all.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Then, Molly, take away that help point that you have, and Sam, add that help point as a +1. So you should have a +4 -2.
Correct. So I'm at a +2 here.
Yep.
Yeah. So to give you a little more flavor here of
Yeah.
what this looks like, I think like Prometheus literally just like lifts up the phone, like unlocks it, and then it like starts like doing stuff itself.
Yeah.
And we get like that visual effect with the fire in the eyes. It just like his eyes, like instead of it being kind of a subtle effect, it's like they literally like light up.
Yeah.
And let's see how this goes.
I think.
No!
Oh man. I think as you're like, you can see the fire in the eyes. The fire like slowly turns into like lines of like fire colored code as it's kind of going across.
Oh,
as
that's
the thing's
dope.
going
Yeah,
around,
for
right?
sure.
Okay, fantastic. So you are.
Does this game have any rerolls?
It does.
I want advantage.
You are sliding your thumb back and forth across the screen as these lines of fiery code are running through across your eyes. And in all of the confidence that Prometheus possesses, you finish and you tap enter without even really looking at what you've done. And you send out something.
Excellent.
Does Prometheus ever look at the phone to confirm what he's done, or is he just that awesome that he knows exactly what he's done and is fine with it?
I mean, I think it's just like, it's a no-look shot. You can't look back at the explosion.
Yeah.
That would be way less cool.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Perfect. Yep. So you hit send. The job's done. Everyone who needs to know now knows exactly what you wanted them to know,
excellent.
or so you believe.
This is excellent news.
Okay. Molly, you see him hit send, confident as all hell. What are you doing?
If it goes out, I mean, it goes out everywhere, right? Would Molly's phone go off?
It hasn't gone off yet.
Uh-huh.
It may in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, so he mostly sent it to like clickbaity reporters and like people with big Twitter personalities, like the kind of people who are going to send it out and make it go big. So eventually Molly will definitely.
So Molly was probably like leaned over, like trying to peek at what he's doing.
Yeah. It's like, it's, man, the only thing I can reference to is it's like hacker movies when you see like stuff is just happening so fast. You see his thumb like moving across like he is the fastest texter in the world, right? He's just got the one thumb is sliding all across the screen, and you just see like images popping up and disappearing and like typing and disappearing, and so it's almost too hard to see exactly what he's doing. You're pretty sure you can make out that he's attaching pictures to a file and he's sending the files, and there was like something, an email app opened up and closed, and then like a calendar app opened up and closed. There's a lot of like opens and closures of apps, pictures being attached, paragraphs of text being written. But what it all comes down to, you're not entirely sure.
Molly's gonna look at him a little sus.
A little?
I mean, so far every time I've tried to do some fancy magic shit in front of Molly, it's gone horribly wrong. So,
Okay, Mr. Imposter Judd, whatever. You done playing your little phone games there?
look, I'm simply trying to help.
What? I don't have time for your little. What is it? I don't even know what kids are playing on their phones these days. You know, you fancy tech bejeweled or something.
Angry
we got.
Birds.
Everyone knows that game has been illegal here for like 20 years. Are you profiting from illegal video games, Judd? Imposter Judd?
There's no profit in illegal video game, is there? Huh. I'll look into
It
that.
might be.
That's it.
Okay, look, no, we got a job to do, okay? Audie's gonna murder me if we don't get this job. She wouldn't murder me, but you know, we got stuff we gotta do.
We're on the way. We have time to chat. It's not going to. This car is not going to move faster just because we're talking about work.
Just
Think about it that way.
blink and stare at him. Like,
As you blink and stare at him, almost as if
just
mocking,
uncomfortable because he's so. He's
Yeah.
just not Judd.
almost as if a master of ceremonies is mocking the character, the vehicle pulls to a stop outside of the funeral home.
Excellent. Perfect.
As I said, you see the funeral home sign on the thing says Gide Funeral. You see the name Samuel Valtierra, PhD. And you see that there is a purple lowrider in the driveway. White topped, white rims, bright purple, glinting in the moonlight.
I called first, right?
You didn't.
I thought I called you. Give me a card. I thought
He
I
did
called
give
him.
you a card, but you guys just hopped in a vehicle. I mean, you can flashback and say you called.
Nah. If I didn't do it last episode,
All right. Here you are.
Prometheus will get out of the car, and unless Molly's already out, he'll open the door for her.
Ooh.
Molly will let this happen, but she's also just continuing.
Just so suspect.
This is the most. This is the most suspect
face
thing that's
is like-
happened. First, he doesn't do drugs. Now he opens a door for you. Jeez, gross. Who is this imposter?
Thank you.
And
There was
then
so much disdain. And thank you.
he'll just say, look, I know you prefer Artemis, but it would be rude not to open it for you. Anyhow, we ready? Yeah, he's just going to turn and walk as he says that.
As the two of you step out of the vehicle, the door closes behind you, and slowly you hear that gravelly rolling of tires as it sort of pulls around the corner. You step forward onto the grass of this fine New Orleans-style two-level house. You can tell just by looking at it that the second floor is more like a living quarters, and the first floor is more like a funerary parlor. Likely there's a basement that has actual funerary practitioners in there. But you guys step onto the grass, and as soon as you do, there's like a... It rains in the city a lot, but there's like a moist kind of squish as you step on this, like it's fresh rain on this thing, and the smell of that like rain-packed dirt kind of like rises up and hits your nose, and almost as if the pressure of your footfalls caused it, a slow-moving, ankle-high mist kind of swirls as you begin to walk foot over towards the front door of this abode. Who gets there first?
Molly is following behind. She doesn't want him behind her.
Reasonable. Yeah, he'll stroll up and knock on the door. I think he does some sort of weird rhythmic knocking thing.
Yeah, I think as soon as you go to like raise your hand to knock on the door like you hear the click, and then that as the door slowly creaks open, and standing in the doorway is Samuel Valtierra, exactly how you left him. He's the same hat on, open collared shirt, strange medallions on, and he just kind of looks at you and crosses his hands. He says, "So, we are to make a deal, yeah?"
I'm really more here as a executor. I'm here to bargain on someone else's behalf.
Ah, yes, bargains, deals, it is all the same to me.
Of course. I just want to make it clear that it's not me you're making a deal with. I'm more of a liaison here.
The words all mean the same. A deal is a deal. Would you like to come in?
Absolutely. I don't think you are getting what I'm saying, though. I'll explain. He'll just walk inside.
He like motions to let you in, and then like turns back and says, "Oh, Miss Molly. I did not know that you would be gracing my doorstep today. Do you come with this, Judd?
Well, he's not exactly the Judd. I wouldn't know, but yes, yeah, I'm with him.
And are you here to make a deal as well?
We're
You could say
really
that.
here to make one deal.
Well, one quickly becomes two, two becomes three. Once the deals start flowing, there's
Okay,
no
none of
knowing
you.
where they go.
Oh, we got it. We're focused on a task. None of this
Oh,
fancy
no.
talking.
By all
Mr.
means, come on
Charming.
in.
Okay.
Molly, I would not dream of it. Please,
Yeah,
come
sure.
inside.
Mm-hmm.
He motions you in as well and sort of reaches over and closes the door behind you. You guys see a... it's not what you'd expect of a funeral home, right? You kind of expect, like, coffins and, like, that, like, kind of, like, sterile office lighting. This is, like, it's like a jazz club, right? There's, like, round tables with, like, that table candle kind of on it with, like, the red drapery casting, like, this orange kind of glow to the room. All of the shades are pulled, and the drapes, that's what I was looking for. All of the drapes are pulled, and you can see almost like dream catchers, but definitely not, hang in several of the windows. And you can see almost off color. You see that there is a desk in the far, where he kind of motions you to, in the far left of the room, what you would assume to be his desk. And on each corner of the forwardmost part of the desk are two skulls, which seems out of taste to have in a funeral parlor, but there they are nonetheless. And he kind of motions over to you to sit, and he walks around the desk, takes off his trilby, and sort of puts it on one of the skulls, facing out, as if it was wearing it. So, you come to make a deal with me. What are the terms?
Artemis, our colleague, is looking for, I suppose, allies is the correct word?
Oh.
Assistance. Mutual cooperation.
Friends in low places. Well, and he kind of like looks down at the floor. You come to the lowest.
Look, I realize who we're dealing with. I warned Artemis, and she said that this is what she wanted, so I am here to bargain on her behalf. As a good cousin does.
And what is it that you bargain? What is your goal here? More than just friendship, huh?
I think Prometheus will look at Molly for a second and will say, well, I suppose you could help us find this kid.
Which kid are you talking about? There are many kids that run rampant in this area.
He's the one with the sword.
Oh,
The one with friends.
yes. The one with friends. I have heard about this kid. He is giving some of my boys some trouble.
There you go. Mutual cooperation.
And you want me to find this boy and bring him to you? Is that what you're saying? Or is there something else that I'm missing?
I guess, yeah, I'll look at Molly again and kind of shrug. He's like, honestly, I was just kind of hoping you would point us in the right direction, but if you want to bring him to us, I mean...
I think I'd much prefer that, if you're gonna bring it here.
You know that not everyone that passes through these doors passes so in a way that you two have.
Yes, we get it. You like dead things.
That is just the nature of my business.
Right, yes, I get it.
But does that mean the state of this child does not matter to you?
He again looks at Molly.
I would prefer him to be alive greatly and have that be quite an arrangement, for him to be living.
That is quite an
Turns
arrangement.
back as though it's like totally obvious and he was going to say it before. Yes, alive.
Yes. And to what do you propose for this arrangement? You see, the child is your side of the deal, but what is in it for me? You see, this is how deals are struck. You ask for something, but you must give something in return.
Well, normally you ask for something. You're the one who's saying you're all about the deals.
Oh, so this is open-ended, and I may ask for whatever price I deem fit.
Well, we have to start somewhere, and then,
Doesn't
I'll
always mean
haggle
we'll
and you'll
agree.
haggle.
Right?
Oh, okay. This is a haggling deal. Okay. Well, you see him
Have you done this before?
You see him reach down and he pulls out like a tome and like opens the book up and pulls out like an inkwell with like a feather, like a very like vibrantly colored feather pen. And you just see that the book, as he slams it open to the right page and pulls like that fabric bookmark out, it's just name after name after name after name in this like tealish green blue ink. And he like looks back and forth between Molly and Judd. You like to escape. And he points at Judd. I'll have your name in my book, Miss Molly. And he spins the book around. That is my price.
Really, it's only fair if you take Artemis's name. After all, she's the one who sent us here.
See,
No.
No.
No. He like dips the feather pen and starts to hold it out to you.
What is this book?
This is the book of the dead, huh? It is a guarantee that when, as the young kids these days say, bite the dust, that you come back here and we arrange for your entrance.
What, you gonna take care of my funeral when I die or something? It doesn't seem like a very good arrangement in your ways, Funerals are so very expensive.
For like
it's
a
more
second,
of a ledger of debts owed.
For like a second, his eyes flash to Judd, and he says, "Yes, we will take care of your arrangements."
Molly looks because she doesn't really understand because she's not as in tune with the mists and everything, and she's looks at him very suspicious.
Seems like I'd be given a whole lot just for this kid.
It seems like you would be giving a whole lot. It is just a name in a book.
I don't know. Names seem pretty important if you say it's me agreeing to something. I need to see the paperwork. I got to get my lawyers involved. Artie told me not to just sign random contracts. It can end very badly for me.
I understand how that can be. You know, you wouldn't want to sign your life away. But
Trust me, most lawyers have found their way into these sort of books one way or the other anyway.
it is true. But as they say, and he like motions to the door a little bit, a life for a life.
I'm thinking.
He kind of holds the pen out to you, this quill, and sort of just like spins the feather in your direction. It is just simple. You just sign your name on the dotted line. And you never have to worry about it again. Because by the time that I follow through on my end, you'll already be dead.
I mean, what on your side, you know, I mean, you're being very vague about, you know, what all I'm gonna get, you know, in the end.
The devil's in the details.
That's...
Yeah, I'm a classy lady, okay? I gotta know what I'm getting myself into, you know, what's gonna happen, what kind of flowers you gonna give me.
See, that's the thing, Miss Molly. That is my side of the deal. Your details are the child, alive. This is my side, which means I get whatever I want. But I promise you, it will be to my tastes. And he kind of like motions around the room. He clearly has an aesthetic.
I mean, purple's a nice color, but I don't know if it's a defining color that I would want to have at my funeral.
Oh, we have more colors than just purple. Molly, roll me a what's the searching for clues one that I can't think of right now? Investigate. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me an investigate. Roll me
Okay.
search for clues.
Can I use... Can I use a dark ritual?
Oh, okay. Okay.
An access to secrets.
Yes. Yep. Success. Muddy, but successful. Okay, so I'm going to give you one of those clues, and then you can ask me a question. As you're... excuse me. As you're trying to draw out this conversation and potentially stall for time here, you happen to glance down at this Book of the Dead, as it is so called. And on the left-hand page, the one that is completely filled out, about halfway down the second column, you see Sam Spade.
Okay. So Molly's gonna see this name, and she has her hand out to take the pen to sign. Like Molly is, you know, she's flighty. She's believes in wizard closets, but not much else in the way of fantasy things still. She's very closed. And she's going to see Sam's name and look back up at him.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me about this name right here?
This name,
Yeah,
Sam Spade.
yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. What is it that you'd like to know? As I said, once the deals start flowing, 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 3. It is all... And he, like, glances at Judd for a second. Uphill from here.
You said is your friend.
He is a good friend of mine, yes.
Because he was a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not alive no more.
Oh, we all keep a little bit of Sam with us, yeah?
Judd just rolls his fucking eyes at that.
Molly's gonna squint.
I think you got something more you can tell me about Sammy here, especially if you's friends with him. And if I'm going to be putting my name in this book for this kid, I also want some information about Sam from you.
Well, if you want this kid alive and you want Sam's information from me, then what is the other thing I get from you? A deal for a deal. It's not a 2-for-1 special. This isn't a diner. If you want a secret about Sam, then I need a secret about Molly. Or one of your friends, perhaps.
I mean, I'm never really a girl to keep many secrets. I'm very open about my life.
You see him like, I feel like only Molly sees this. Molly, you see him actively avoid looking anywhere. It's like that, like, he has that, like, that triangle of, like, that's where, and he says, I can only imagine.
This still just seems a little crooked to me because, you know, we're coming to get help for this kid.
Yeah.
Right? But you're wanting me to sign over.
Yes, you're coming to me for help.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, equal exchange, right?
Yes. You want
Is this kid
alive.
in your book already?
No.
Then what is the kid to you?
Nothing. The kid is everything to you.
Well, you also said that you had some issues with the kid, did you not? You said that when we first came in here.
I did. I said he'd given my boys some trouble.
I mean, that kind of seems like it's you're gonna benefit from us handling this kid, you know.
I would benefit from a great many people no longer giving my boys trouble.
So you're also benefiting from giving us the kid.
Mm-hmm. That's true, but you want him alive. I would be equally benefited if he was not. You see, therein lies the favor. The mutual beneficial portion of this ended when you wanted him alive. But if you want him in my book, and he starts to like slide the book back, we can arrange for that as well. But if
Molly's
you want
gonna just sit
information,
back and
if you want information about this friend of yours here, and he like taps that page of the book, well then a secret for a secret.
A mutual friend, you know.
Mm-hmm. Sam was a great friend to many people all around the city.
Popular fellow.
He was indeed.
I mean, just, you know, because before you knew, you just kind of talked about him as if he was still here. And so, you know, I just found that very curious.
Well, there are a lot of curiosities around here. And he like reaches his left hand over and like kind of like rubs the skull on his desk.
This whole city is one big curiosity if you think about it.
I know I'm going to say this, and I mean no disrespect, but you're kind of creepy.
It comes with being a funeral home owner. I walk
Look,
among the dead
I don't
at
want
all
to end up
times.
like Sam, okay? Is my name going in this book mean I'm going to end up like Sammy?
I mean, are you involved in things that Sam was involved in? Are you in danger?
I mean, look at the city we live in. We're all in danger every day we walk around the street. You never know when a kid's gonna come around the corner and stab you in the toe.
Molly, what you have to realize is this book doesn't come to collect until after all of that happens.
Putting your name in the book does not kill you, Molly. Nor does it make me want you dead. It is just that when you die, I come to collect you.
What else do you want to give me a little more information on Sammy?
I told you. Secrets for a secret. Unless you have a better idea.
What kind of secrets do you want?
The kind that no one knows. Ones that you never tell, or ones that you yourself are not supposed to know.
Well, I've got one. No one knows yet.
Would you allow him to take your burden, Miss Molly?
Sure.
Do you know who the boy's father is?
I like where this is going. No, it is an urchin.
No, he's not. He was abandoned.
By whom?
I'm now blanking on the dude's name.
Hugh Flynn.
One Hugh Flynn. Another
politician.
rather popular man around town.
A popular man around here. He is more troublesome than the boy.
As you say, it's a 2-for-1 special.
It is, but the knowledge of his parentage makes me want him dead even more.
Well,
But a deal is a deal, Judd. What is it that you would like to know about Mr. Sam Spade?
oh, I'm just here to help Molly here. She's the one with the pressing questions.
Well, Molly, your debt has been paid by someone else. What is your question?
I want to know who killed him.
Who killed Sam Spade?
There's someone pulling a lot of strings around here. And there's some real weird shit going on. And I may not be the smartest person in the room or in many rooms, but I'm not dumb.
No, Molly.
And I know, and I feel like you know too, that Sammy didn't just fling himself off and can off himself like that. He wasn't that type of guy.
No one in this room thinks you are dumb, Molly. And he reaches down to the same cabinet he pulled the book out of, and he brings out like a small leather pouch, and he opens it up and pulls out a folded sheet of this like old, it was probably at one point like tan, maybe white, off-white cloth that is now like browned on edges, and it's stained in spots, but it's all relatively clear. And he begins to kind of put it out over the top of the book. And then he reaches over to the left-hand skull that he was kind of patting earlier, picks it up, and places it on the book. And you see him, like, reach almost a pointed nail almost into like the top where like that like X that Y kind of cross section of the top of your cranium is, and he sort of like plucks out a small coin-sized circle that was in the top of the skull to reveal like a weird rune that's in there. And he opens up the black satchel again, and he pulls out a few vials, and you see him like shake them in each hand, and he kind of uncaps them, and the hinged golden cap sort of pops to the side, and he slowly pours them in. And though it looks like the vial has too much liquid, they both pour in and just fit perfectly in that small coin-shaped spot. And you see him put both of his hands to the side of the book and just start like mumbling something while looking at the skull. And as he's mumbling, you can see the little like pool of liquid start to bubble and bubble and bubble and slowly start to leak out the side of the top of this coin-shaped hole, and slowly trace down as if there are like patterns cut into the skull all the way down. And you see it kind of come up underneath the skull until all of the liquid is gone. Are you ready for this answer?
Molly has like pulled herself up onto like the seat, and it's like her feet tucked under her, and she's like leaning over.
He picks the skull up and puts it like quickly with one motion, puts it right back where it was, and now the little circle piece is back in where it was. And where he picks the skull up, the cloth facing you says the word Flynn. Flynn. The answer to your question.
It all comes full circle.
Molly kind of like just leans back in the seat, looking at the name.
As you sit there and look at the name, you feel a vibration in whatever makes for Molly's pockets.
She'll pull it out and look.
As you hit the button on your phone, you see a suspicious news alert where it says wanted criminal Jace Flynn, son of local politician. And it just has like a bunch of information. News story broken by Judd Polyakov. Linking a whole bunch of things. Investigation conducted by the newly renovated Ace of Spades Detective Agency, headed by Molly Marinos. And it just gives far too much information about your case. And as you look at this and the realization of what Judd actually did washes over you, the camera kind of zooms in to this phone on the picture of Artemis and zooms back out on the face of Artemis. Hand still on the gun, other hand still rubbing the leaves of the ficus, thinking about what Judd had said. You feel this like waxy, banana leafy kind of feeling of the ficus under your fingertips. And as you kind of absent-mindedly play with this, you feel that like that thin membrane start to rub off under the pressure of your fingers. And then you see in your hand the plant begins to like molt and become like spotted, as if the plant is dying. And you see this spotted death kind of crawl up the leaf and into the main bark of the ficus itself. And slowly, as if spreading from your fingertips, which is completely impossible, you watch as this ficus dies. It ages several decades, looks neglected, hasn't been watered in months. This thing starts to bend and bow, and the leaves turn brittle, and the bark sort of turns this wispy kind of thing. And all at once, this now dead ficus sort of dissipates and falls to your ankles as mist. And as you watch it fall to your ankles as mist, you see that the room has filled with mist. And you look and you see that Hagen is still sitting in his chair from when you first pounded on the desk. Still a smidge of fear in his eyes. But as you look over at him, it's those same eyes that sort of catch you off guard. And you can see, sure as shit, there's a little circle in each of his eyes. The same circle that you saw on the eyes of Sam Spade. Something is different about Thomas Hagen.
I just want to fix this.
Fix what?
Sam dying, this child murdering people. Everything.
Is a child murdering people?
Doing his damnedest if he hasn't already been successful. Yes. The one that came to your office. The one I keep asking about.
Oh, the weird, like, street kid?
Yes.
He's killing people now?
Getting pretty damn close. Probably been successful and I have no idea. It's the funny thing about the docks. They just toss it into the water sometimes. You wouldn't know anything about anybody being tossed off anything, would you? And she's just getting angrier and angrier as she starts thinking about all these things and this death.
Roll me an investigation, Artemis.
Okay. Get into the suspect's head.
Mm-hmm.
Photographic memory and commands reverence. I think we should tag either vengeful or tyrannical tendencies.
Yeah,
Which one?
you pick one.
We'll go with tyrannical tendencies.
I love it. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
All right, I'm going to give you one of these clues for free, and then you can ask me another one. So your first clue is as soon as you say you wouldn't know anything about that, there is a sliver of recognition. It's possible that Thomas Hagen does know something about that.
What are you thinking about right now?
Nothing. It's like the kid.
What are you thinking about right now?
Now, is that an intimidation, or is that your second clue?
A little of both, really.
Okay.
So point that out however you want to point that out.
Let's do this. Roll me intimidation, and we'll see if that can't affect the change, affect some change in this roll.
What is that?
It should be convince.
It should be convinced. Okay. I'm gonna leave everything exactly what it is.
Okay.
And just
Okay.
9.
On a 9, I believe you get the most of the way there. 7 to 9, they give in a little bit, but protect their own agenda. Okay. Choose relevant status. So what is the status? Intimidated 2 for this guy?
Sure.
Okay. So he is afraid of you a little bit. You can see that he kind of like is almost, he's not quite white knuckling the fine leather upholstered arms of the chair, but you can see there's a squeeze to it. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm thinking about the kid that you mentioned, the kid with the staff.
What do you remember?
That he came in here asking about a staff. He wanted to hire us to get it. He had the money for it.
Where did his money come from?
Listen, Listen, Artemis. I know you're you're doing the whole cop thing, but like, there's some things you don't understand. Like my partner and I are lawyers for some important people, and sometimes there's some off-book requests, and we don't ask where it comes from. We just get it done for our employers, because of course they're innocent men, you know, and women.
If you don't want people to know that you were involved in Sam Spade's death, I would like you to start talking.
Fine. You hear him like click like a door open, and you hear like the beep boop beep beep boop beep 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 of like an in drawer safe, and that like of it opening, and he pulls out a small like 4-inch by 5-inch, 4-inch by 6-inch black book that he's like leather bound, and he like undoes the wrap around it and sort of opens it up, and you see him flip back a few pages. I think this is it. And he points to a line that is incredibly vague. It just says retrieve artifact on one. It's like a ledger, right? So it says retrieve artifact, and then it has a rather large price tag. Like you just see 100, and then it's several dashes, and then you see H.F.
Which is the other lawyer's initials?
No, the other lawyer is...
I'm sorry, my brain is not in it. I need help.
The other lawyer is... That's not the other lawyer's initials. I'll just to give you that. I forget. Milton, that's his name. The other guy's name is Milton.
H.F.
If you'd like to spend your second clue...
Yeah, because I can't brain it, so yes.
The only H.F. you know is Hugh Flynn.
Which is the kid.
Which is the
politician. It's his dad, who we also just learned killed Sam.
Technically, you just learned Flynn killed Sam, but...
Okay.
I mean, come on.
I mean, the kid's name is Jace Flynn, but...
So his dad paid for the staff, is what we just learned.
That is what you just learned.
So they're working together.
Correct.
Where is this guy's office? You want me off your ass? You're going to give me what you have about this guy's office. Office, home, wherever he'll be right now.
He doesn't work here. He works in the blue collar district. He has a campaign office there. I mean, if that's who you think it is.
She gives him a look like, come on, dude.
Listen, there's a reason it's only initials in his black book. Look, I gave you what you want.
We'll see about that. She taps his desk and walks out.
As you go to leave, you feel a in your pocket as well.
I'm assuming it's this news story.
Yep, if you pull out your phone, you get the exact same news story, as broken by Judd Polyakov, as found out by the Ace of Spades detective agency, headed by one Artemis Marinos. And as you, we'll say, are in the elevator, sort of scrolling through what could only be Judd's handiwork, absent-minded handiwork, as it were, as the floor dings to the ground level, where are you going, Artemis?
She's gonna go to this office, I think.
Okay.
It's the only thing she could think of. She's just half blind rage, half just unsure what to do.
Yeah.
So she's gonna head down that way. She's not gonna text anybody. She's just gonna go.
Okay, so you slide into the nice leather seats of this SUV. You sort of take your phone out, you put it in the phone mount, and the SUV peels out towards this blue collar district, towards the docks. And as the lights kind of pass over the vehicle, we transition back to Gide Funeral Home, where Molly, you are sat, toes kind of curled up, legs folded up onto the seat, as the realization of both the name and this phone message kind of wash over you. Judd, what are you doing?
He's looking eagerly to see if Molly is going to make the rest of this deal and put her name in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Molly, like, when she sees the name, she sat for a moment. I'm assuming, like, the pen and paper, the book is still out.
Yeah, he once you're like satisfied with the answer, he begins to fold up, and you see him like pull the sheet back, and there's no liquid that spilled on the book, and he kind of folds it up, tucks both vials and the paper back into this black case, kind of wraps it up, and leans it back over to his drawer.
So she's gonna reach out, take the quill, and is gonna write her name in this book.
Bring us the kid. Alive.
As you begin writing your name in the book, that like same kind of tealish blue-green ink kind of like glistens, as if like it's reflecting light, as you kind of sign your name in there. And as you sort of hit that last little dot, he grabs the book and closes it, places it back down. Would you like me to bring you to the child, or would you like me to bring the child to you?
What do you think, Molly? Should we have him deliver him to the agency?
Perhaps.
Why don't we bring him here? We'll get Audie to come here. We're already here. We all want him.
Yeah. Do you serve drinks?
We do serve drinks. Drinks worthy of the gods, huh? And he pushes his chair back, and you can hear the legs kind of like scrape against the floor. And he stands up, walks behind the chair, and you can see him like opening what, like, Judd, you would probably recognize as like a maybe not Prometheus, but the little tinge of Judd back there. It looks like a tabernacle that he's opening, that is just behind his chair on like a little like altar almost. And he pulls out this like, it looks like, if you had to guess, like a comedically potion bottle. Like it's a long neck with a large bulbous round, but it's huge, like the size of a cognac bottle. And he pulls over, and you can see like there's like a black skull on it, and this is like very expensive imported Caribbean rum. And he just sort of brings it over, and there's 3 glasses in his hand, and he just pours this like dark rum into this glass at like, maybe like a third of the way up, and sort of slides just straight rum to all of you. And he like reaches into his jacket pocket, flicks open a little metal case, and pulls out a different cigarillo and sort of lights that as this smoke kind of wafts out as he swirls his dark rum in a glass. Drink up. It is not often I break out my own vintage.
Just takes a sip.
Miss Molly, it is rude to refuse.
Well, I'm rarely a girl to say no.
Wow. Jesus.
She takes it.
Jesus. He sits back, leans on his chair, and sort of swishes the rum around and takes a sip, as the 3 of you enjoy a cordial. You hear the loud engine of what you can only imagine to be that lowrider ignite to life outside in the driveway, as it like out of the driveway and down the street. And because it's the finale and fortuitous timing, Artemis, you pull up to what you know as the campaign building.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're pulling into a parking lot, or a parking spot, you hear from down the block, this like fast moving, loud engined car as you hear as it stops on its brakes, and you see a bright purple, white top, white wall tires lowrider pull up to an aggressive stop outside this bar, this campaign office, as we spend our first corruption bar.
Would I recognize this person, this car, as somebody of this group from my past, or am I just like,
how
what the hell is this?
This wasn't your district, right? This wasn't your beat, right?
No.
I'm not sure if the car is famous enough to be involved in things that you would have heard about. But you know who the doctor was, like you know like recognition by the name, and the license plate does, ironically, in the most distasteful way, say dead on it.
Hello.
You see the top's down of this thing, and you see that there is a young man, probably in his like early 20s, 21, 22. I think right around like Polly's age, probably, right? You see him get out, and he looks like if you took the doctor and sent him back like 20 years and made him very modern, right? He has like a bandana tied around his head. He has like a gold chain or two. You can definitely see that there is like the lump in his crotch of a gun that he has just sort of jammed into his waistband. And he has like a Letterman's almost jacket on without the sleeves, and you can see that on his left, whatever this muscle is that I can't think of, bicep, there is an ornate skull, like a sugar skull, on his arm, and you see that there is a similar one dangling from the mirror. And 4 other dudes sort of like slide off the roof, like the folded up roof, and out of the passenger seat. And they all have similar iconography on them somewhere. That symbol you would know as a local gang that works in this area called the Skulls, with a Z, because why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they? Fellas, I think we have a mutual friend. I'm not sure if we're here for the same reason, but mind if I tag along?
It's a little late for your business, though, miss. I think the office is closed, yeah?
Oh, I don't care about that. She smiles.
Well, as long as you don't get in our way.
Oh, no. I don't think I'm meant to get in your way. Like I said, here to tag along. Help if you need.
Yeah, then,
not that I think you need it, but I'm here.
Then I, for safety's sake, give us a head start, yeah?
Sounds good to me.
And you hear him like, and the rest of the dudes sort of like run up towards that, and like this is like a police raid. The door gets smashed in. You hear like the glass window pane in the door shatter. There's a few voices inside. You immediately hear like one of a pistol shot go off into the ceiling. You hope. There's some screaming, some shouts. Several people run out of the building, and as if this is normal, everyday fanfare, he said, "So what brings you to the campaign office? Yeah, you trying to pledge here for Hugh Flynn? He's a big guy around these parts. You trying to clean up the neighborhood, riffraff, huh?"
From what I've found these last few weeks, I'd rather have the riffraff than this asshole.
Same kin. That's what I say. There's something we can do for each other, the riffraff and the regular people. It's a symbiosis, symbiotic or whatever. I don't know. That's what they say, right? Yeah. So what brings you here? What do you do?
Private detective. His illegitimate son has been causing some trouble, and now I'm finding out Daddy's funding it. She smiles at him.
So you do like the spying on people and you catch them cheating from inside the building. That's crazy with like the lens. And then you say, oh, this is having an affair with your mistress, huh? You get a divorce now, right? Like that, private eye?
I like bigger cases, but I won't turn down a case at this point.
Yeah. Any case is a good case, right? As long as you stay on top, you gotta keep that money coming in, you know? That's good.
That would be the idea at some point. She just kind of laughs.
Yeah. Hey, hurry up, yeah. Anyway, so this is just like this is like a one-time thing for me. I know you're a private eye and all, and this isn't my normal kind of business. This is like a favor for a friend of a friend of a friend. I wouldn't worry about it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not here for Mr. Flynn. So if you have business with him, he'll be fine.
Him, the kid, but
the kid.
Yeah, he's on my shit list as well.
What you need the kid for?
I'd like to have a conversation with him without his sword.
Yeah, see, that's gonna be a bit of a problem. Cause you see, I'm not here for Hugh Flynn, but I am here for this kid. Yeah.
That's why I'm not getting in your way, darling. I have a feeling you're taking him to your friends, who I'm hoping my friends are with.
Hell, birds of a feather, they say, they flock or whatever. But as if you want to talk to Flynn, you can come back with me to talk to the kid, or you'll figure it out, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Let's see if Daddy follows him out, and if he does, he can ride with me, and the kid can ride with you. How's that sound?
That works for me as long as I live with this kid. That's what the boss man he wants. He said, "Get this kid," and I said, "Yes, no problem."
Whatever pays the bills, are right. You were saying before, yeah.
That's what I say. That's what I say. Yeah. You hear you hear like the sounds of like broken furniture and glass and scrapes and shouts from in there. And you can actually, roll me. Nah, never mind. You can just have this one. You can hear the sounds of fights happening. Like there's a fight breaking out, and you're fairly certain you can hear like the clang of a blade, right? Only because it's something you're like half expecting. And then you hear several shouts from inside the building, and two of the guys sort of like stumble out, look confused, look to the guy you're talking to, and he goes, "Hey, get back in there. What are you doing?" And what?
I think they need some help. Art's gonna pull out her gun. He's gonna see that it's not quite a regular gun. Like I said, there's a sword. They're probably gonna need some backup.
This is like a whole thing, huh? After you, boss lady.
Perfect. Yeah, she's gonna go in. She is gonna like look around the corner. She's not gonna go straight in after seeing what happened last time to Judd.
Yeah.
And wants to get a picture of what's happening before she jumps in fully.
Yeah, so this is weird, Artemis. This is the weirdest shit you've seen, right? Perhaps it's because of that failed roll. Perhaps it's because of Judd's crazy whatever nonsense he's been spouting into your ears. But this is weird. Like, at first glance, you look into the room and for a second, you're positive that there is a scimitar in a man who doesn't seem to mind at all. He is still fighting whatever he is fighting with. And then, like, you kind of like, what? And no, there's no scimitar in that man. It's in the thing's hand. That's ridiculous. There would never be a scimitar in a man who'd be fighting. That's crazy talk. You do see that Hugh Flynn, who you know from the poster, albeit defiled to look like a rat, is sort of barricaded almost, just sort of shouting at the people. What you notice is that every once in a while, one of the people he's shouting at sort of confusedly does what he's told, stumbles away, catches whoever this gangbanger is behind you's eye, gets confused, and turns back into the fight. There are not 10 friends here. There is only 2 friends, and there does not seem to be a giant translucent man here. What would you like to do? The kid is here. There's a kid. There is 2 of those sword-wielding bandits there are the guy you were talking to outside, his 4 friends, Hugh Flynn in the corner, kind of barricading himself in, and you.
I want to try and get to the office.
Towards Hugh?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to let the gangsters deal with the kid.
Sure. You can do that.
I like the idea that at some point her phone's gonna ring because we're trying to tell her to come to this place because we're getting the kid.
Yeah, I feel like whatever's happening is like in the angry like phone tussle to like get in the mount on the car. Like you turn your ringer on, and whatever the ringtone is for Molly's phone is like the battle music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Betty Boop or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. And she's
It's
just
like
gonna...
it's like Pat Benatar Invincible from it just
Yeah.
starts going ham.
super lesbian.
Yeah.
Just girl in red.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. There we go.
Yep.
Perfect. She's just gonna ignore it. And should this be a face danger or sneak around? What do you take a risk? What are you
What are
thinking?
you trying? Are you just trying to get there, or are you trying to do something when you get there?
I want to get into the office. I want to talk to Flynn.
Oh, he's outside the office. He's shouting
he's
at the
outside?
people in there. Yeah, he's sort of barricaded like a desk, so it's like his office door up against the corner, him, and he's
Okay.
barricaded a desk so like they can't like get to him, and he's shouting.
Then-
So you can easily get to him and leap over the desk and be in very close quarters with him if you'd like to.
Let's go for that.
Okay. What do you want to do when you get to him? It sounds aggressive, so.
Sounds aggressive. I don't. No, fuck it. I want to have her put her gun towards him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you gonna fire, or are you gonna hit him, or are you just gonna intimidate him?
Intimidate.
Okay. So yeah, you can bound over this desk, get in very close quarters. You can describe how you intimidate, but go ahead and roll me a convince.
Okay, let's do. So I want to use survival is the fittest. That's
Yep.
what helps her move.
I'll take
Weapon
that.
worthy of a god.
I'll take it.
And let's go with Command's Remembrance.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take all 3 of those.
And I feel like her little talk with the gangster calmed her down a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
I'll buy that. So roll me a convince with a +3.
Would help if I had all the things. 7.
Did you
Did
add
we
all
do
the
that
things?
right?
Nope, it should be a 10 with a +3.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll count that as a 10. So that's a full success.
I hit reset like a dum-dum.
That's fine. So that's a full success with a +3. He takes a 3 status. What's the status that you give him?
I would like to scare the ever-living shit out of him.
Yeah, scared to shit. 3 is the tag that he just took. So yeah, describe how you vault over this desk and grab this dude.
So I think before Artemis comes in, she's gonna take her jacket off, even though it's got like all the tools, whatever.
Yeah.
She's in business mode, so she's gonna toss her jacket into the thing. She's got like pants and suspenders on. She looks like real old school
Yeah.
at this point.
Love it.
But she's gonna walk in like she's clearing a building, see the chaos, and just go. She's gonna take a running leap over this desk like she's a fucking deer, because of
Yes.
course she is.
Yeah.
And hi, I think if you could calm down this situation, we could have a conversation and things could go a lot different. But if you want everybody to keep stabbing each other and shit, that's up to you.
Man,
I could also just pull the trigger instead.
The calm intimidation is so much worse than the aggressive intimidation. Like you just
really is.
You just mommed this adult.
I did. With a gun.
Yeah, with a gun, which is 10 times scarier than just regular mom energy.
True.
Yeah. How does this work? He acquiesces and he shouts, "Stop!" like at the top of his lungs. Not Molly. Jesus, why does this keep happening? Artemis, I need you to roll me a face danger with a +3 on top of whatever else you have.
Okay.
So literally you cannot fail this roll, but...
danger sense, weapon worthy of a god, and survival of the fittest.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
RDAF.
Yep.
Face danger?
Yep, with a +3 on top of whatever your +3 is.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you crush that. So he yells stop, and you see everyone except for yourself and the gangster you were talking to outside stop. And, like, stand still.
She's gonna kind of toss the gangster a look like, just give me a second. Kind of like,
hey, do you? Hey! And, like, he motions to his boys to, like, round up the kid, and you see them, like, move in on this kid. You have the floor.
The kid will be fine if you and I can have a conversation. She's gonna pull out her phone, show him just the title of the article that Judd put out.
Mm-hmm.
Just that he's his son.
You see him go a little bit pale.
Everybody already knows you're connected to this child. And I have a lot of reports and a lot of notes about some robberies happening in your district.
Well,
I
mean,
happen to know that you funded him getting a hold of something that caused somebody's death. Somebody important to a lot of people in this city.
I mean, you can't prove that. And having a kid who's a criminal is a great platform to stand on for cleaning up crime in the area, because look what happened to my kid. Could happen to anyone's kid. And you can see him going into, like, full politician mode.
Shh. Stop. I'm not voting for you. I really am not. And I really doubt any of these guys are either. But if everybody in your district, the people that do vote for you, the people that do have businesses here, I can prove that you are associated with this child and what he's been doing. That's easy. The other stuff, it would take some bribing, some paychecks. We'll leave the Sam stuff out of this for now, Mr. Flynn. But you've got some answering to do, and some good answers, or this is going to be a very short conversation.
Listen, lady, I know my rights. You gotta do the whole Miranda
thing. Does it look
thing.
like anybody in here gives a fuck about your rights, sir?
No.
You should probably recognize some of these boys, if you know anything about your district.
Yeah,
And if they let me come in here, do you really think that I'm a cop? She just smiles from ear to ear.
I mean, I guess not.
No. Artemis is going to pull out some handcuffs. She's going to slap them on him. We are going to go have a conversation, though. Boys, you got the kid?
Oh, yeah, no, we got him.
You're coming too, and you're coming with me.
You want to follow us, or what?
Yeah, you follow me, I follow you, I don't care.
All right. You see the four thugs very unceremoniously force this kid into the back of this convertible lowrider as they pile in.
Oh, I didn't catch your name, but he's got a ring or something. You might want to grab that.
Oh, yeah, no, we got it. And he, like, holds up the ring. Yeah. No worries.
I do want to pat down Flynn before I put him in my vehicle, just to see if he's got anything on him.
No,
because at this point she's just chick.
Yeah, no, he's got a wallet with a there's some cash in there. He's got a checkbook, the weapons of his trade, and his cell phone. And on his cell phone you can see, like, pending alert, and it looks like the same pending alert you had for the same broadcast message.
She's gonna take his cell phone and then load him into the car.
Yeah. So as you kind of pile him into the car, you hear the like a ceremonious horn blast as the car, like, and, like, just starts to take off
She's gonna follow him because they'll probably know the best route to avoid any other inconveniences that might show up at this point.
Right, yeah. They are driving like they own the streets, which, you know, as an ex-cop is not an unfamiliar way to drive. So you're easily able to catch up despite being in a rather large SUV. And almost as if you had known where you were going, they pull up that same kind of stop. Molly, Judd, you hear the brrr and the stop. And you hear another set of vehicle noises sort of pull up. 2 cars have arrived back to the Gide funeral home. You hear a bunch of scrambling, and then 2 sets of doors as the door kind of swings open to the funeral home, and you see the gangbanger, as previously described, shove this kid like through the door and onto the floor, and he looks over at Sam Valtierra, and he goes, "Hey, record time, Dad. We got him."
And I have a present too, and she's gonna walk in.
Yep. And as soon as the other 4 guys kind of walk in, and you see them go down towards the basement, Artemis follows in with Hugh Flynn in handcuffs.
Highly efficient.
Apparently. Thank you. I brought an extra present, but looks like he got one off the boy as well, so we can figure out who owes who what afterwards, if you haven't already.
Hey, this one? This one's a keeper, yeah?
So Molly's gonna just like stand up and walk to Art and this Flynn guy, and is gonna deck or attempt to deck Flynn.
Yeah, you do. He's handcuffed and held by Artemis. You punch him or whatever you'd like right in the face.
Like punch him and like shake a hand like, oh.
Yeah.
That's my girl, is what Art's gonna say. She's just gonna smile and be proud.
Yeah, you see that, like, just the amount of, like, body you threw into him would have taken him down if it weren't for the fact that, like, Art's kind of holding him up.
Molly's also gonna look at Art, not really that proud of herself, and probably not great at keeping secrets from Art. She's just kind of gonna look at her a little uneasy as well.
We'll figure out everything afterwards. Let's, well, sit down. She's gonna shove Flynn next to his kid. I'm sure you might have some questions. She'll gesture to him at the desk. I have a few as well, and then we can figure out what we're doing with them afterwards. They are on the news right now, and his office is quite a bit of a mess, but I have faith that you can handle anything that needs to be handled, then we can figure it out. I'm just glad to have these 2 assholes in one place, because apparently they've been working together all along.
The desk will be taken care of, yeah, and it won't matter. I have no questions. They are troublemakers in my neighborhood. So, the deal was a retrieval, alive. And he, like, looks to Molly.
Well, I have a few questions for him, and then I honestly don't know if I care what happens to these 2. But I will leave it to you to decide what you see fit. Apparently, our friend here, she gestures to the politician, played a part in the demise of Mr. Spade.
You could see that Sam Valtierra was about to say something to your "you can decide what happens to him afterwards," and he just sort of sits back in his chair. That is an interesting development.
I don't know that the person I got that information from really wants it out there, but it's enough for me to know, and it's enough for me to have it handled however it gets handled. She looks down for a moment, realizing what she just said, but Sam meant that much to her that she meant what she meant. You
see Hugh begin to like sort of like scramble. He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. This like this is and his hands behind his back, right? But he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. This is an egregious assault. I am a politician. I am a personage of the state. Artemis and Judd, roll me investigation.
Get into the suspect's head. Enforce the law. We're gonna go a little cop.
Actually,
Commands.
Molly too. You've been having a weird night.
What are we rolling?
Investigation.
I've got take the bait.
Yep.
I've got knows where the bodies are buried.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the Maconian trick too, because this guy's trying to fuck with me.
Yep.
Okay.
Can't bullshit a bullshitter.
I'm just gonna use CI and access to secrets.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh wow, the success is rolling in here.
So
11, 11, 10.
for the first success, for the first clue for all of you, as this guy is speaking to you, you swear there is music. Like his voice is like level and like coming out normal, but you behind it there is music, almost like a sing-songy tune that like draws you into whatever he's saying. That is your first clue. You collectively have an additional 5 clues to spend on this man. I have no idea what you're talking about. I haven't killed anybody. I don't even know.
A price was paid for a staff that went to your son that was involved in the murder of Mr. Spade. I saw those details because you involved somebody, and that somebody doesn't want to go up for murder either. So
I don't even know who Sam Spade is.
Well, maybe your son does. Doesn't matter. He's dead now. And you paid an awful lot of money for him to end up dead. Which means you're culpable. At least in my eyes.
I mean, I've never paid to kill anyone.
Then what did you think you gave your child money for?
He's a thief. Maybe he stole it.
You're a terrible liar.
Most politicians are.
I'm telling the truth.
Well, if you would like us to not just hand you over to this man, or to any of the other people who would like to, I don't know, build in your district but haven't been able to, or any of those other people that aren't big fans of you, so you just disappear and aren't a problem for any of them anymore, I suggest you get to talking.
That sounds like Artemis is spending a clue.
Yes.
What would you like to know?
I would like to know how why are you and him doing this, and what is your goals?
He looks to you, and honestly, because of a fucking 11, says, "Look, I'm just trying to clean up the district, and then move on to the city. I just want to clean up the city."
You want to clean up the city by letting your child put swords into people? You have a Boy Scout record, and could honestly probably move from that district to the city real easy. Unless pictures of these things start getting put in newspapers, much like your being related is now public news.
You gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet, right? He kind of like says sheepishly.
Mm-hmm.
Like as if that's an acceptable excuse.
Why are you going after these particular businesses?
I don't actually give a shit about the businesses. I don't
what
care
do you
about them
give a
at
shit about?
We were looking for something that would help us clean up the city.
She looks at Jed.
That is 2 clues from Artemis.
Yeah.
You have 2 left from Judd and 1 left from Molly.
I'm tossing it to you, Jed.
What did you two do with George?
Who's George?
He takes care of a very old library, one that I'm fond of.
Oh, the old crazy guy? He's fine. We needed him to do some research.
Good, good. And did you find it? What you were looking for?
You see him, like, look to his kid and then, like, look to everyone else in the room. Yeah. That's
Why
what...
don't you show us?
I don't have it. That's what George is working on.
Where is he?
He's at 651st South Waterman Street. And you guys have known because you've been around this district for, a month now.
The last month.
This is just a nondescript like mill kind of warehouse with like several floors to it. Used to be an old mill building, has been repurposed into like storage and that kind of shit.
We'll make sure to verify that momentarily. Why don't you tell me what you're having him look into? Describe it to me.
It's not something that anyone would even care about. It's just like an old heirloom. It's like an old heirloom from like the Middle East. It's an old like oil lamp. It's a family thing.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was stolen from us. You can tell he's lying about that last part.
Yeah. I told you to stop lying.
It's just an old lamp.
Artemis puts her hand on Molly's shoulder, kind of like, ask something. I'm sure you've got something you want to ask him after all this.
His eyes kind of follow you to Molly.
Yeah, I got a question for this fucker.
Ert just smiles.
What is Sam to you? Why'd you kill him?
I didn't kill Sam. He's nothing to me. He's just a bump in the road.
A bump in the road?
Yeah, I'm trying to clean up the city, and he's a dirty cop.
He wasn't a cop. He was a private investigator.
That's even worse.
Yeah, it would seem by your current situation that you might be correct for your business.
Yeah, you're basically unmasked vigilantes with a gun and a make-believe badge, just doing whatever you want.
Sounds like you need cleaning up, sir. You're letting this child run around just throwing swords into other children. You're taking things from businesses that are quite charitable to, well, actually, I could list off exactly who they donate to. What is that going to look like when you're rerunning for this district and want to move up to the city? It doesn't sound like you're cleaning up anything, sir.
Yeah, but if I finish my work, then I will. Then
And what is that work?
Then no one can stop us.
Oof. What do you think, guys?
So Molly is gonna how are we all sitting right now?
I believe you're still in your chair.
Yeah.
Artemis is standing by your chair, arm on your shoulder. I think Judd is probably still in his chair, and this guy is like on the floor with his kid in front of the closed front door. So it's like desk, chairs, this guy on the floor.
All right, kid, you've been awful quiet. Molly, you go first.
Well, Molly's gonna walk over to the dad, to the
Mhm.
guy, and get down on her hands and like with like a hand and knees,
Yeah.
and has like her claws out, and is just gonna like trace it one finger down his cheek.
I mean, I can think of all kinds of ways that we can clean you up, mister.
He the balls on this guy. He like looks past, like just past Molly's face to Artemis and says, "See? Private investigators. Dispensers of justice. Not what I see."
If you weren't cleaning up bumps in the road, this wouldn't have happened to you in the first place, sir.
You're just making
You
more
were the
bumps.
one. You were the one that started this.
You're just
And if we
making
have
more
to fin-
bumps.
That's
Such
my
as
job.
Molly's gonna kind of like snap at this, and she's gonna like slap him with the claws.
Yeah. Do you wanna hit him? You wanna hit him with all you
Yeah.
got? Go for it. Hit him
Well,
with all
maybe
you
not
got.
with all she's got.
Well, if you wanna roll for it, hit him with all you got.
yeah.
What are
Okay.
you adding to this roll?
Okay. Well, this should be fun.
Mhm.
Speed,
Mhm.
seemingly delicate.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like she's also gonna have a weakness on this.
Ooh, which one?
Like twisted psyche, because I think it's
Yeah,
She's emotional.
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm also gonna check untapped rage.
I'll take it. So a 3 + 3 - 1.
Yeah.
7, mild success. So I believe a mild success on a hit with all you've got. You get to choose one of them. So you get to get them good. Yeah, so I'll just let you get them good, right? Because none of the other ones really apply here. So
Mhm.
you'll deal a tier 3 attack. What do you want this to be called? Slashed,
That works.
fucked up 3. Okay, yeah. So you slap him, but with the claws in full effect, right? It's again that same kind of like burst of feral from Molly as you sort of reach back, and with all of that untapped rage, you slap him across the face, and it's as if those little taloned jewelry pieces are not in fact jewelry at all, and your hand is almost avian claw-like as you just rake it across his face, and there is 4 like scrapes from ear to mouth across his face as he like turns, and you see him spit out like a big globule of blood. You're just
Like
making
as
my
Molly does
point.
this, she's just like, "You motherfucker!"
You know,
Yeah.
us cops, former cops, wouldn't have to resort to this if you were catchable in the first place.
If you cops just let me do my job, then there wouldn't even be a need for cops. I could clean up this whole city. There would be no crime. Everyone would just do what I said.
Based on what I've seen so far, everybody doing what you say is not something I want.
So is that what you're working on then? That's your whole big plan?
Just control people. Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Why wouldn't it work? If everyone does what I say and I say there's no crime, then there's no crime. It's a flawless
Folks.
plan until you bumps in the road kept popping up.
Folks like you always think that you've all got it figured out. But if you are controlling everything, all you're doing is stymieing the progress. Life has to push forward, humanity has to push forward, and that means defiance against people like you. You've lost, my friend.
The world is fine as it is. What more progress do we need? The more we progress, the more we find ways to kill and stab and fight and steal. Stop the progress. Stop everything. Just be civil.
Trust me, I've been around for longer than you can imagine, and the progress doesn't make the civility worse. It doesn't make it any better, but it is necessary. The fish that doesn't swim, it dies.
I hate fish.
Yes, well,
Art's gonna walk over to the kid, kind of put her finger under his chin. How much of this is something you wanted? How much of this was all his idea?
Roll me a convince.
I'm going to go with nature sense, because I want to appeal to his nature.
I can dig that.
Get into the suspect's head because I'm trying to understand him. I'm trying to give him a chance. And commands reverence.
Yeah, I'll take all.
I want to seem like the most together adult in the room.
I'll take all this.
Convince. Oh, it's a miss.
He looks at you with like the same cold indignation that his father has. Like you could, like in this moment, that's his father. Like that's for sure. He is his father's son. And he looks to you and he says, "How do you know this wasn't my idea?"
I mean, that's what I'm asking.
I don't want crime either.
Yet you committed all over the place to achieve that?
The ends justify the means. If the world is better than what it was when you left it, what does it matter how you got there?
Let's just kill him, Audie. They're nothing to us.
Wow.
They're better off dead.
It took a turn.
Wait. What kind of deal did they make while they were here with you? She turns to him at the desk.
Just their name in a book.
I would like her to decide whether the name stays in the book. You get these two. Do whatever you want with them. You get to keep the ring.
That's not how these deals work. The deal is done. You could make a new one.
You have these two. You can keep the ring. Do whatever you want with those. We're gonna go get the lamp and the library guy. Get him back settled home, and she'll take a card out, hand it to him. Call me if you need anything.
You know, as a favor to you, he glances down, Miss Marinos, I'll take out your trash. No deal. It's a favor. Friends in low places.
If it accomplishes getting somebody else in that position and some of our mutual friends being able to do business, works for me.
Our friend Mr. Gold, he knows a few politicians on the rise. Perhaps, he, like, looks over at Molly, like, Molly's back for a second. Perhaps, Mr. Vidales, he might know some as well. Although him and I don't get on so well.
Seems, accomplishable. You call me if you need anything, and, well, I'll try not to come around here unless it's mutually beneficial.
Much appreciated. And he, like, slides the card, and you see him, like, tuck it into his leather jacket.
This is what's best, Molly. Say anything you need to before we leave. Artemis is kind of sadly going to walk out the door.
As you walk out the door, like as you step like that 1 foot out the door, you hear from the desk, "Hey, I'm glad we're on the same team."
So far, let's keep it that way.
And you're able to leave the establishment. Molly, Judd, what are you two doing?
I think he'll go with the Artemis unless there's something else they want us to do.
Sure.
Does this fun guy have like a suit on?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely messed up now because Artemis definitely like jerked him around.
Does he have any like cufflinks on?
I would imagine, yeah. Cufflinks, probably like a tie pin or a tie clasp.
So Molly's gonna reach down to like his left arm and rip the cufflink out of his sleeve.
Oh.
And walk out.
And as you step out of the front door, you hear the of the door close behind you. The three of you stand on the damp, spongy lawn, mist sort of roiling around your toes. What are you guys doing?
I mean, Art wants to go save the library guy, see if the books are there, the lamp. Let him keep the lamp in his library, maybe with a better security system. Just kind of like she did at the end of last season. That's my main prerogative at this point. And then maybe we all go to the diner.
Yeah, that sounds
good to
right.
me.
Okay. So we smash cut together a montage of the three of you riding in the SUV like the old times. As you make it to this nondescript warehouse, climb to the third story, you find a Dr. George Angel chained or cuffed to a desk, books piled around him, strange lamp, strange lights, his own weird aura of esoteries just sort of around him as he's trying to translate things on this inert, for all intents and purposes, relic. You're able to break these bindings, rescue him, get him the proper medical attention he may need for whatever jostled him from his respite in the library. And we pick up as the sun begins to rise, as the three of you sit in the once around the block donut shop, home away from home, eating delicious donuts with three piping hot, perfectly made Americanos. What do you guys have to say for yourselves?
Look, this is probably not how we wanted it to go, but I feel like we have a lot of answers, a lot more questions, and a lot of attention on us. She looks at Judd. That could be good or bad going forward, especially with this politician disappearing.
I was simply trying to do what you wanted.
I think I told you to be a little more discreet, but it is what it is.
Discretion's not so much my thing.
She just gives him a look like she's still confused at what's happening. Molly, I'm proud of you. I know you could have. I think you did the right thing.
Molly's just kind of like sat back, one arm in her lap, and the other is like playing with like one finger on this little cufflink.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out, huh?
Sounds like you've got some friends to make for us. Judd, I don't know what's gotten into you. We should probably figure that out too.
Maybe we should find a priest. Maybe. Are you?
She's gonna lean over.
Do you think he's possessed?
She just
that makes more sense than the drugs, honestly.
That's honestly not terribly far off from the truth.
You know, I think I'm gonna go to work tomorrow. Maybe I'll ask Miss Belladonna if she knows anything about. She just does this towards Judd.
Oh, I'm sure she could do some explaining, but I'm not sure she would.
And on that true but slightly ominous note,
Yep.
the camera transitions behind the three of you, looking out the glass window that says once around the block, the typical table you stand at, as all of you guys have witty banter back and forth, and a young man that you all recognize as Archibald, Archie, the boy who used to lurk here, the boy who left to become a Fortnite streamer. He walks in the early morning in front of the shop, black hoodie, zipped up, pulled tight, hood just over the top of his head, hands stuffed in his jean pockets, and for a second, all of you swear that you see Friday standing right next to him. But when you blink, it's just Archie. It was always just Archie. And that is where we close Season 2 of Paradise City. The end, bitches!
Woo!
Yeah, that's
Good
that.
work, team.
Woo!
Spicy finale. All right, let's do our outroductions. We'll start with Slap Happy Miss Molly herself. Kitty,
Yeah.
who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Awkward Kitty Inc. I like to make lots of art. You can check that out over on Twitter at Awkward Kitty Inc. And I sometimes stream art and wow things. So
Perfect.
check that out over there too.
You can find me on the internet where I sometimes stream.
Yeah.
Also sometimes streaming. Jerry, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I've been doing some Red Dead RP lately. Playing my street urchin.
Suspicious.
How the tides turn and the turntables and all that.
Yeah.
And doing some tarot things. Come on by, come hang out with us. And thank you for a wonderful season.
Hell yeah. And last but not least, Sam, who are you? Where can we find you, and what are you up to, my dude?
I am Sam. You can find me at Twitter at the Wizened Fool. For the foreseeable future, I'm only going to be doing the BattleTech game over on AP Gaming Reels YouTube channel. So you'll be able to find me there. And who knows? Maybe I'll try to pop in for a guest spot or something in the intervening time. But other than that, I'll be kind of going down low because I'm back at school and very busy. But this was a great end of the season, and I'll still be on Twitter and doing BattleTech, so you can find me there.
Hell yes. So, with that, Season 2 of Paradise City is over. The suspect has been found. We're going to get out of here. We're going to go discuss what the hell just happened on an after show. If you guys want access to this after show, Patreon, link down below. If you want to talk about the show, Discord, link down below. Join us. Be a part of the conversation. But for now, we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.